Welcome to our lightning-fast dive into the world of Game of Thrones. Buckle up, because we're about to cram 8 seasons of dragons, drama and decapitations into just 5 minutes. Let's go. Our story begins in the land of Westeros, a continent where summers can last for years and winters. Well, let's just say you'll want to pack an extra sweater. The 7 kingdoms of Westeros are ruled by whoever sits on the Iron Throne, a really uncomfortable chair made of swords. As we kick off, that unlucky person is Robert Baratheon, a once mighty warrior who's now more interested in wine and women than actually governing. But here's where things get spicy. Robert's Hand of the King, basically his right-hand man, dies under suspicious circumstances. He calls on his old buddy Ned Stark, the Honorable Lord of the North, to take the job. Ned reluctantly agrees, heading south with his daughters, while his wife Catelyn stays behind with their sons. Oh, and let's not forget Jon Snow, Ned's brooding bastard son who decides to join the Night's Watch, an ancient order guarding a massive ice wall in the far north. Now, while all this is happening, across the narrow sea, we meet the last surviving members of the overthrown Targaryen dynasty, Daenerys and her creepy brother Viserys. Viserys marries off his sister to a horse lord named Khal Drogo in exchange for an army. But joke's on him, because Dany turns out to be a total badass. She emerges from her husband's funeral pyre with 3 baby dragons, the first seen in centuries. Talk about a glow-up. Back in Westeros, things are going downhill faster than a direwolf chasing a rabbit. Ned discovers that Robert's children aren't actually his, but the product of an incestuous relationship between Queen Cersei and her twin brother, Jaime Lannister. Yikes. Before Ned can spill the beans, Robert conveniently dies in a hunting accident, and the Lannisters seize power. Poor Honorable Ned loses his head, literally, sparking a massive civil war known as the War of the Five Kings. The next few seasons are a whirlwind of battles, betrayals, and beheadings. Ned's son Robb leads a rebellion, but gets murdered at his own wedding. Worst party ever. The Lannisters seem to be winning, but they're too busy stabbing each other in the back to notice the real threats. Meanwhile, Dany is building her power across the sea, and in the far north, an army of ice zombies called White Walkers is preparing to invade. Oh, and did I mention that winter is coming? Because winter is definitely coming. As the story progresses, we see characters evolve in fascinating ways. Jaime Lannister goes from attempted child murderer to, well, still kind of a jerk, but a more likable one. Tyrion Lannister, the clever dwarf, brother of Cersei and Jaime, becomes Hand of the King, then kills his father and flees to join Daenerys. And Sansa Stark, who started as a naive girl dreaming of princes, becomes a cunning player in the Game of Thrones. Now let's talk about Jon Snow. After joining the Night's Watch, he goes undercover with the wildlings, falls in love, returns to the Watch, gets murdered by his own men, and then gets resurrected by a Red Priestess. Just your typical Monday, right? Oh, and he also learns that he's actually the secret son of Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark, making him the true heir to the Iron Throne. Talk about an identity crisis. As we race towards the finale, Daenerys finally invades Westeros with her dragons and armies. She teams up with Jon Snow to fight the White Walkers in an epic battle that's so dark you'll think your TV is broken. They win, but at a heavy cost. Then, in a twist that had fans screaming at their screens, Dany goes full Mad Queen, torching the capital city of King's Landing and thousands of innocent civilians. In the end, Jon is forced to kill Dany to stop her reign of terror. The Lords of Westeros elect Bran Stark, now an all-seeing psychic tree wizard, as their new king. Because why not? Jon is exiled back to the Night's Watch, Sansa becomes queen in the north, and Arya sails off to explore west of Westeros. Oh, and the Iron Throne gets melted by dragonfire, which is probably for the best, considering how uncomfortable it looked. So there you have it. Game of Thrones in a nutshell. A story of power, family, and the dangers of sitting in pointy chairs. It's a world where anyone can die. Dragons are real, and you should never, ever attend a wedding. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need a nap after cramming all that into 5 minutes.